So in reviewing this weekend's NFL playoff games, there's one game and a storyline surrounding it that I gotta say really bothers me. um, the Baltimore Ravens went to the Buffalo Bills. They went to Buffalo, very difficult place to win a playoff game at, and two great quarterbacks went at it, Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Lamar played a very bad first half. Now he came back and played a very good second half and got them to the point where they were an easy 2-point conversion away from tying it and sent it to overtime. Easy because their tight end was wide open, who had fumbled earlier in the second half, and he just dropped it. Now Lamar himself had two turnovers in the first half with a fumble and an interception, which I believe led to 10 points. I could be wrong about that, but he did not play a good first half. And once again, he's just shown that he's not that guy in the playoffs. He's not the guy that from whistle to whistle is going to just absolutely light you up. The playoffs have not been good for him, and it seems like the further that goes on, the worse it gets. It's almost like it's probably inside his head at this point, which is understandable. So, I mean, I'm not here to defend Lamar's playoff performances at all. I feel like his MVPs have been kind of undeserved. This year, oddly enough, is probably the most deserving MVP he'll probably get, which if he wins it. But the first two, especially last year, were kind of baffling. I mean, I get the Baltimore's doing good, but I mean, their defense kind of had their record last year. And Lamar's not been, he's had better individual numbers this year, but he's also no-showed some games that they really needed to win, like against the Cleveland Browns that were quarterbacked by Jameis Winston, and they also lost a game at home to the Las Vegas Raiders. How bad were the Raiders this year? My Panthers beat them. That's how bad they suck. So those are two games they didn't need to lose, and they did, and that's why they had to go to Buffalo, which made things more difficult. And, Lamar fell short again. After beating the even more fraudulent Mike Tomlin in the first round, he went there and fell to the Bills, and his playoff record is now 3-5. So I just think, a lot's been placed on his shoulders unfairly in a lot of different ways, on the field, especially off the field. And a lot of this blame, I mean, you got to, give Lamar the criticism he deserves for not showing up the way he needs to in a lot of these playoff games, and for only the second half of this playoff game. He showed up well, and he had a very good game against Pittsburgh as well, but you got to do better than that. You look at Patrick Mahomes and the way he's able to do it, game after game after game, the way Tom Brady, I don't know, so many playoff runs just did it year after year after year, game after game after game. Those are the golden standards. Those are the ones who, the MVP should go to. But to me, the worst part is the fact that, just simply there's a lot of Lamar hate going on right now. And I get it. And I blame the media for that, because we're just to the point now where the media is just shoving him down our throats, especially the clowns on ESPN. I mean, they're the worst. They got a guy out there that played for the Steelers a long time ago, has been pushing him. Ryan Clark, he is not a good analyst at all. This is coming from me, who sits on my phone and rambles. He's horrible at what he does, and he just shoves Lamar down our throat. He says that, Lamar needs to succeed because he's the first authentically black quarterback. What in the actual blue hell does that even mean? Authentically black. All right, so back in '87, the Washington Redskins won the Super Bowl, quarterbacked by Doug Williams, who had an amazing Super Bowl, one of the best Super Bowls performances out there ever. They fell down 10-0 the first quarter. By halftime, it was 35-10 Redskins. So scored 5 touchdowns. I still don't think it's been done in Super Bowl history since. And 4 of those 5 touchdowns were touchdown passes by Doug Williams. Was he not authentically black? I mean, you got to give me a break here. Not only was he very much authentically black, he had to go through the whole being the first black quarterback to win, the questions, what does this mean, having to answer a bunch of stupid questions. He was literally asked by somebody during the press day, how long have you been a black quarterback? Which is one of the absolute dumbest questions you can imagine. And you're gonna and Ryan Clark's going to sit there and diminish him and what he had to go through. Oh, and after his playing career, Doug Williams went and coached at Grambling at HBCU. Is that not black enough for you? I mean, goodness gracious. Deion Sanders coached at Jackson State and is rightfully, praised for that, for going to an HBCU and trying to help out there. I know he stayed for a year, but I mean, he tried. And so why doesn't Doug Williams get the same? So for somebody like Ryan Clark to say that and to just diminish, Russell Wilson and Patrick Mahomes and their Super Bowl victories. I guess just because I think they're both of mixed race, but they're both black. They're both half black. I mean, as far as I think Russell Wilson's half black. I could be wrong, but just because they, what does that mean to be authentically black? They can talk. They can, don't have criminal records. I mean, seriously, what's the criteria there? And that's where the media is just so wrong. They push these. They claim to be pro-black. They claim to be, all about. Somebody like Ryan Clark claims to be all about being pro-black, but he's sitting there pushing this propaganda down our throats after years of showing we reject all propaganda. We reject this crap. We reject race baiting. Of course, he's not a good analyst, so all he really has is race baiting. And, so he's doing that, and all that's doing is making us hope Lamar loses so we don't have to listen to him talking about it. It's like we know the narratives now because the quarterback's left of Josh Allen, the poster child for being white, apparently. I have a lot of respect for Josh. I like his game. I don't know him. I don't want him representing me. Of course, white people have it different. We don't have to rely on people that look like us to have self-worth, unlike people like Ryan Clark. And, and Ryan can talk about his wealth and his Super Bowl ring and all that. At the end of the day, I wouldn't trade places with him for nothing, where he's at in life and where I'm at in life. And I'm not exactly in a great place. I mean, work in corporate America, going through a divorce, it's not great. But you know what? I wouldn't want to be him. I wouldn't have to be that insecure, that hungry for fame, that I'm willing to go out there and do whatever it takes to be famous, including selling people that look like me under the river and making and using my platform in the media to foster dissension and hate to try to elevate them, and in the process just bring them down and bring everybody down. It's time for ESPN to shut down. I cannot wait till Disney finally realizes they're not worth what they're paying. People like Stephen A. Smith and Ryan Clark and everybody there, they're not worth it. And like I said, Lamar Jackson's paying the price right now. There's a lot of people that are way too excited about the fact that he failed again. And like I said, I'm not excusing his playoff performances. They're not good, especially for a 3-time MVP. He has 3 playoff wins, including 1 divisional round win and 2 wild card wins. He's going to be a 3-time MVP. That shouldn't be happening. And so, like I said, I understand he's very overrated. And like I said, he's tough with his running. But, once you start playing the elite defenses and the elite teams with good scheming and good coaches, you can stop them. And he doesn't have an answer for it. So, I don't know. Hopefully these people go away and we can finally, sit back and actually, watch these athletes for who they are. That's very unique athletes and very unique individuals. This whole not worry about, their skin color and whether they're authentically their skin color or not, which is just so stupid. It's just like, do you listen to yourself? Do you hear yourself when you say something like that? Do your bosses hear that? Do the people around you hear that? That's the problem. You can tell they're surrounded by yes men who are just going to tell them everything they want to hear and nothing that they need to hear. It's just the sooner these people get off the air, the sooner we go to this more independent media, which does not include me, by the way. This is not media. This is me talking into a phone. The quicker we can get away from that, the better. Just quite frankly had enough of the race baiting. It's been going on way too long. We're sick of it. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson have the ultimate respect for one another. It's time to throw all this garbage out the window. Turn the TV off. I've turned the TV off. I do watch other people's stuff, and they'll play some of the highlights, or actually lowlights, of people like Ryan Clark, and it's just bad. I'm just ready for them to go away and get back to actually covering sports in the game and the actual people behind them. So congrats to the Bills, congrats to Washington, congrats to Philly, and congrats to Kansas City. Should be a fun weekend. But to the media who's been trying to use Lamar Jackson to drive division, you're unforgivable, and I just hope you're proud of yourselves for what you've done. What you've done is horrible, and what you've done to your own kind, the people that quote-unquote look like you and your quote-unquote brothers. It's inexcusable, unforgivable, and That's all there is to it. So to each of you, I cannot wait till you're out of a job. I normally never hope for somebody to be unemployed, but I cannot wait for all of you to be publicly fired. I mean, the indignation that comes with that. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure you saved your money. I don't want to see you go broke or anything. So hopefully you saved your money and can live comfortably from here on out. But I cannot wait for the public indignation of each of you losing your jobs. So thank you guys for watching these videos, and I'll talk to you soon.